Hey people, Anthony 4x4 Diesel. This is one of those jobs that goes from crazy, normal crazy, to getting crazy and crazy. We've got the catch can there, overflowing with oil. That's probably because of the cracked piston. Got to be honest, I should do a separate video on this guy. One of the last best roadside assistance guys in Victoria, probably in Australia, probably on the planet actually, who's come across a really good RAC roadside mechanic, vehicle diagnosis, whatever the case may be, bloke, you know, the bloke that comes out when you call that number. Anyway, one of the best blokes got called out to this vehicle, and because he's smart and he's got experience, he's been around, and I believe, you know, I don't know all these RACV guys, but all the ones I've dealt with over the years, this guy's by far clear the best, you know, just far surpasses anyone else. There's been a couple of good guys over the years, but I don't think they're around anymore. So he's diagnosed the cracked piston simply the way we demonstrate in the video, you know, cap off, chuff, chuff, chuff. We haven't been able to do that because next problem has arisen, and we're going to talk about that one in a minute. This is the nightmare that you don't want. So hang around. I'm going to give you a whole heap of info, including the nightmare that you don't want. Now, first, cracked pistons. Let's just quickly talk about that. The reason it's happened, okay, so previously, not now, but previously, sometime in the past, this vehicle has had a chip on it, I was told. Amongst the questions I asked, it did have a chip. So I don't know when the chip departed. I don't know why the catch can's still there, but that's fine. That's not a big deal. That's separate videos. We'll do another one on catch cans. If you don't want to miss that, subscribe, turn the bell on. But, and it's also done over 300,000 Ks, probably never had the injectors replaced either, right? There's no history that we know any injectors have been replaced. So like I say, there's always a reason, and that's probably the reason. Now, moving on from the cracked piston, this is the first vehicle for this year at the, because we're just reopening soon, at the Prado Hilux Engine Replacement Hospital for the 1KD FTVs. We've got them here in stock, brand new, long motors. So it was diagnosed by the RA, I'm not going to name anyone just because, you know, we'll just keep things private at the moment. Diagnosed by him. He sent me a video with the engine running. So the first point I'd like to make is the engine cannot run. The vehicle's got no power. It's dead when this fuse is, I'm not even sure if it's blown, but we'll get to that in a minute, right? So he's sent me a video with the diagnosis cracked piston, and because he's a top bloke and he thought this guy was a nice enough bloke, he's hooked us up and said, hey, you know, you might want to go to this guy for your engine, whatever the case may be. I've looked at the factors, over 300,000 Ks, did have a chip in the history, a few things like that, and I'm going, okay, cool. Simple best way out of this is the brand new long motor. Give him a rough quote on that, had a quick phone call to say, you know, a few variables, because there's a lot of, you know, optional extras. You might want a radiator, some people want a turbo. Anyway, that's another story. So that we know the vehicle is running. Now, the next, from my investigation so far, the next tow truck driver who picked it up to bring it to the engine replacement hospital, perhaps tried jump starting it to get some power. Maybe the battery was flat. I don't know if he's used a jump starter. I don't know if he has done something on it. I don't know anything. But what I do know is the vehicle was running when the RACV technician left this engine. It was running on 3 cylinders, okay? Can't run with that fuse blown. That fuse isn't going to blow itself. That is a main engine fuse. The only way you're going to do that is maybe if you put the battery terminals the wrong way, short something out, hardcore short out. Normally it'll blow that fuse. I think it's actually a 140 amp to be honest in this one, but I could be wrong, could be 120. One next to it's 80, it's pretty melted as well. We'll get to more to that in a minute. Look on the box here, it'll tell us. It says alternator 120 actually, so there you go. It's a 120, not a 140. I don't know where I got, oh, that's right, I was looking under the bonnet of the 1GD and it was 140. Okay, my confusion, my mistake, you get that. Okay, this isn't scripted, it's pay as you go, P-A-Y-G. So if you want to pay, just remember, you know, somebody, hey, appreciate the super thanks, people sending money, but you know, if you really want to thank me, you don't really have to send me anything, but if you insist, just use the phone number as the pay ID and just write happy birthday for October, Merry Christmas for this year or next year, make it a Christmas present, gift, and then I get to keep it all. Thank you very much, love you too. Okay, so don't worry about the super thanks. Just don't worry about it. I'm not asking for money. I'm saying, you know, see, we go off topic. We cover everything in our videos. I'm not asking for money. I'm here to help. I think I need some help with this. We've got a bit of a problem. So as I see it, it was running, right? He's left it. Tow truck's come to pick it up. And we need to do some further investigation with the tow truck driver because this doesn't happen on its own. So if he's tried to power it up, I know that he must have done something because on the phone call after he'd already left where he picked up the vehicle from, He said, it's just dead, you know, it's got nothing. And I went, oh, I think that main fuse is blown. Not sure if he knew what I meant or not, but just before he left, he pointed out that he'd unplugged the SBI 12 down here. So that needs to be reconnected. But was it because he flicked the ABR sidewinder switches inside the vehicle, which are here? I don't even know exactly 100% what they do. I don't use these. Right, there's a green light on, means there's power there. I would assume it's been hooked up correctly, and I would assume that this isn't going to cause the problem. But if he wanted extra battery and he started flicking switches, you know, like off, pretty straightforward, off, on, that's the link. So you turn your link off, on, battery. I don't know what 1 and 2 and the battery does. Oh, you can probably switch between them. Okay, so this setup, I'm going to guess you can switch between battery 1 and 2, and then you can link them 2 separate things. Is that right? Let me know in the comments, because I really don't know. I'm going to assume that's set up correctly. They wouldn't have wired that wrong. I'm just putting it out there. He could have used something like this, and then it's caused some problems. Then he's unplugged that wire. But I really don't know. I know that he did unplug the wire. Don't know why he unplugged the wire, because with that disconnected, that link button inside the vehicle obviously isn't going to work. Now, I'm just a common sense kind of guy, pretty straightforward. I say it how it is. I'm honest. I do good work and just offer the best solutions. But, you know, I don't know everything. And when it comes to changing these fuses, I've heard they're an absolute nightmare. It's a 4-figure job to get them changed, because this whole box has got to come out and it's absolute PITA with the biggest capital letters, because I know a lot of people that have done it. Now, how did I avoid ever changing one of these? Don't short the battery. Disconnect the battery, disconnect the battery, disconnect the battery. If you don't know how to keep your tools away from the positive, if you're changing the alternator, if you're jump starting, I always talk about this in videos. Subscribe, turn the bell on, get yourself educated. You don't want to miss this stuff. If you let your jump start cable touch from there to here, or just they fell a little bit and they touched each other, I often see people, you know, clip one here. Those two, you know, back at this end here, it's good practice to keep them well away from each other. You know what I do? On the earth side, see, it earth's to the body. I've explained negative earth before. Go to the bonnet catch, see if that works, or somewhere else, right? A lot of vehicles. And the other part I don't get, and this is why I'm a bit suspect on the auto electrical setup, is, yeah, right, so you've got a negative you want to earth. You can take it right here to the body of the car. There's a few holes around, but you've gone all the way around the airbox, up here, over here to a bolt that's bolted on alloy. I mean, that's just bizarre. What sort of qualifications have you got to be able to do something like that? To me, that's ridiculous. Anyway, so many topics in this video. I'm just really having a rant, aren't I? So this is a nightmare. This is the nightmare you don't want. So don't short your batteries. Don't touch the positive and the negative together. What should happen is this fuse should just blow and not melt like this. This could have caused some problems. That's part of the reason I'm doing the video. I'm telling you about the nightmare you don't want. Disconnect your battery before doing any work. If you can't trust yourself, or at least cover this up with rags and everything so it cannot be accessed with tools going, even if you're doing something simple like swinging a ratchet from there with a bit of an extension, a touch there, or a spanner, it could just easily, people pulling dipsticks out on the Hilux in particular, did you notice? You can nearly short it out. A quick touch probably isn't going to blow this fuse. There's a main fuse in every vehicle. I'm talking about the 1KD FTV specifically here. They might be some different wattage. Some might be easier and harder than others to get to, but the whole lot, the battery's got to come, all this gear's got to come out. It's got to, the whole thing's, that thing there, it's bolted in from underneath. You've got to split the box to get to it. I don't know a lot about it because I've never done one. All I know is it is an absolute nightmare, and it takes anything from many hours to all day, and that's if there's not complications. Now have a look what's going on here. Right, see the so we've got the fuses meant to be in here. See the plastic's melted out. Now you can get, I'm not sure if it's this piece of plastic, because there's all these different pieces of plastic. One of the pieces of plastic, which you wouldn't know, you've got to pull it apart, separate the pieces to work it out. So this is the piece that's got the fuses in it. That part of the plastic, I think, that's about 150 bucks worth. The fuse is only about 30 bucks, something like that, right? This one next to it, they're about the same. They had this fuse in stock. I've ordered an extra one, so I've got one in stock. I've ordered one of these. I like to have spares. I wanted to avoid it, but it's hit me. So, you know, he's picked it up. I don't know what's happened here. Who's changed one of these? Let us know the details in the comments. How long does it take you? Is there any tricks? Yeah, I know you can sort of get into the box and make your own and bypass that and just put another whole separate fuse in to get the vehicle powered up and stuff like that. That's not a bad idea, because what we want to do at this point, the vehicle's here for a new engine. Now, do I want to put in a new engine and all that labor and all that work if there's a whole heap of other electrical stuff fried like the ECU? Not really. So what we want to do, we want to fix this first. which throws it off schedule, the whole job. And also, this is not my department. I'm not the auto electrician. I'm not the auto electrical. I'm flat out busy. I cannot fit in doing work like this. So this is really someone else's department. So we've got a problem. What my concern is that we go to, even if we bend over backwards and go, look, let's change it this time. Let's do what we don't do. The car's here now. We've got to deal with it. We pull the box out, we get a fuse and there's melted wires, you know, who knows to what extent that we've got to order parts. So one thing for sure, the job is going to be delayed, okay? It's going to be delayed. It's probably not going to go to plan. You never know. I've got some people out there that might be able to help. This video is for a number of people, but the key warning is nightmare. All right, have a look. It's even melted the inside lid of the box right on the description, or most of that one. So that was getting hot. If that's melting the lid of the box, that's down there. The lid's up a little bit from there, you know, you got a bit of clearance. This was getting hot. What damage is underneath there? That's why I've ordered that one as well. All right, so hope you understand we've got a problem. Now, the next problem is I've winched the vehicle into the workshop. That was a pain. Now it's blocking the workshop. I can't turn the steering because I can't get the steering unlocked. The vehicle's completely powerless. Does that make sense to you people? Completely can't do anything at the moment. Now, like I said, I can bypass that, but I really want to know what caused that before I go ahead and bypass that, before we cause more damage, because you can see that might not even be blown, because if you have a close look in there, see, it still looks like it's there. It looks like it's not burning out. It looks like it's getting hot and melting. So to me, this isn't a quick short. This is something that stayed connected for a while. So is that telling me batteries, you know? So we've got to do some, you know, again, not my job. I'm not the auto electrical guy testing the batteries, testing this, testing that. Spend hours on this stuff. Probably less time if you knew exactly what you're doing, because this is what you do. I'm being clear. This is not what I do. I avoid this. All right, so let us know what you got in the comments. I'm going to be talking to my people. They'll talk to their people. And to be quite honest, I think RACV, with their contract with whoever the towing company is, it's my belief that whoever causes a problem should pay for the resolution. So that would be, come and pick up the car, take it to whoever it is that does this and change the fuse, get it running on 3 cylinders, and then we're back where we were, where we do the engine replacement, right? We do injector replacement, we do engine replacement, turbo replacement we can do if we have to, but I don't want to be advertising what we do here really. You know, be a feed job, you know, watch the videos, you know, we're not chasing work or anything like that. We're already busy. This is the problem we've got. That's why we've got to say no to some things, because we just can't do everything. We can't do auto electrical installations. I know someone that can. 250 bucks an hour, you reckon? So yeah, everything's not cheap, you know. If you want the job done right, it takes a lot of time, and at rates like that, it's going to cost you a packet. So it's only going to be the people with way too much money that are going to be able to afford stuff like that. Yeah, fun and games. Anyway, that's where it's at. Bada bing, avoid that nightmare, because it's going to be a nightmare if you've got to change that. Now, let's just go a little bit further. I reckon if you pull the injector driver out the way, you might be able to get a limited access to get in there. Like I said, I'm concerned about adding power to something that's melted out like that. Now, I haven't experienced this before. I'll repeat, I have not. So I don't know what they normally look like, but I don't think that's what it would normally, that's a fuse that's almost not a fuse. It's just melting stuff, yeah? So let me know in the comments, have you seen them melted like this? Or is it normally just pops the element there, the fuse, the connection, the whatever you want to call that little piece. Anyway, that's a video. I'll have a look at the comments, and yeah, there you go. That's where things are at the moment. Stay tuned. There'll be more videos. See ya. Always worth staying to the end of the video, because then you get the full story and the extra info. Now, I just had a conversation with the driver who dropped this off, and I reckon he's not an idiot either. And I don't reckon he's tried to jumpstart it or shorted anything out. So we had a good discussion about it, probably spent about 20 minutes on the phone. So it's a time-consuming thing, this. It's been going all afternoon at the moment. So yeah, waste half a day on just trying to work out what's going on. It's like an investigation. But we've got to do these things because we need to know what happened before we can move forward, why it happened, so that we can, you know, I need to know why it's happened. So anyway, it appears as though the client, the owner of the vehicle, His regular mechanic must live near him or next door. So I'm not quite sure about that part of the story. I'll talk to him next and get a bit more information, and then I'll come back to you with a little bit more, making this a longer video, but with all the info you want, besides avoiding the nightmare. But apparently, since the RACV guy had the engine running, chuff, 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 and sent me the video and then left the vehicle, probably the regular mechanic, this guy in Somerville, yeah, it's all right. It's just the area, isn't it? It's not, it's not naming any. Try not to name anyone. Anyway, I think maybe he's either tried to charge the battery or jumpstart a battery. Has he put the charger on the wrong way? I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I'm just not too sure. I'd love to speak to him and suss it out, but I'll only be able to talk to the owner at this stage. Anyway, while talking to this tow truck driver, he's just spoken to someone else about another job, and this is the shocking part that everybody... I'm going to have to put something in the title, wait for the shocking part till the end, because a lot of people seem to think the 1GD FTVs are good engines and they're bulletproof and all this sort of thing, right? We had a long discussion when he dropped off the car about all the electric cars and stuff like that as well. Let's not go there. That'll be another video, and everyone's going to think I'm bagging out electric cars. Mate, I'm all for whatever works best, but electric cars, confirmed, are not a good option and not the best. So keeps them really busy anyway. That's another story. But the other thing he told me about this 2019 1GD FTV, 120-odd thousand Ks. Apparently this lady, she doesn't take it to Toyota anymore for the service. I don't know if she ever did or not or whatever, but the story, it's just a story, right? She buys all the genuine parts from the Toyota dealer. It's at the Toyota dealer. They want it towed out of there. The engine's gone. She was driving along. All of a sudden, you know how it goes, and knocking and all that. In the oil, it's got like metallic in it. You know what I mean? We've seen the pit photos of the camshaft losing the hardening. I don't know what sort of lubrication problems they're going to have. They're stuck at the dealerships. We haven't seen any. Who rebuilds engines? Who knows what goes wrong with the 1GDs? But it couldn't be just a coincidence that I'm talking to one tow truck driver one day. I don't do it that often. And I'll speak to him again, and he's already spoken to someone else, the next job, whatever it is, right? Some about when it's going to get picked up because it's got to get taken out of this Toyota dealership, wherever it is, whatever suburb, whatever her name is, whether it's genuine parts or not. But I'll tell you what, I believe the story. It sounds legit to me. So I've asked him to ask her to give me a call so that we can find out a bit more about it, maybe give some advice, that sort of thing. And there'll be another video on that one. So now let's talk to the owner and see what information he can give us, and we'll wrap this one up because it's getting pretty long. All right, well, I just spoke to the owner, and besides that being absolutely melted and that being absolutely melted, I don't really know why. So he's going to talk to the regular mechanic and see if we can work out anything, but it seems a bit odd at the moment. We can't get to the bottom of it. I don't believe the tow truck driver did anything. He said, I'm going to try a few things. He was under the bonnet, and so who knows? So there's definitely something going on, and I hope you can appreciate my position. I want to know what's caused this before we go putting an engine in or even attempting to change that, because I need to know what caused that. And, we're going to start doing some testing now anyway, but that'll all be in another video, maybe, maybe not. We've got to get head down, bum up, and get the job done. Bada bing, bada boom, that's it. Catch you in the next video.